Hello and welcome back to our channel, guys. This is Team Mambo bringing you the furriest deck profile I could find. I brought it to locals last weekend. It came first somehow, I don't know. I'm gonna break it to you now, it is not a cheap deck. So if you're looking for a cheap deck, don't watch this profile. I know a lot of you guys prefer the budget Melffy deck, so instead of you guys realizing halfway through the profile it's going to be super expensive, instead comment down below right now saying you'd rather a budget profile and I'll try and do that for you guys next time. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. Make sure to like and subscribe and we'll just hit it up with the main deck. Oh my god, relax! Ah! So starting off with the main deck, we want to play Tree Melffy Puppy. I'm sure you're probably glad that we're playing actual Melffys in this deck and it's not just going to be an abundance of lightning storms and forbidden droplets. So you play Tree Melffy Puppy. Triggers when your opponent normal or special summons a monster or he's attacked by adding him back to your hand and special summoning a beast from your deck. So he's probably the best one. I'll show you the targets for him in a second. You play Tree Melffy Catty. She's second best, that's why you still play 3 of her. When your opponent normal or specials or attacks this dude, you get to add him back to your hand to search a beast monster. So that's quite cool in one of the plays that you go for. Again, I'll show you guys that later without spoiling anything too much. You play 1 Melffy Pony. This is a grind deck, so often after utilizing your Melffy Puppies and Cats, you're going to want them back into your hand. If you don't see your Melffy spell card, the continuous spell that shuffles them back in, you have your pony to grab back your Melffys from your grave. Then, to get more Melffys on the field and to make more of the Melffy XYZ, we play Tree Rescue Cat. Also, you can just summon Herald as well with this, which is quite cool. Yeah, you have to play Tree Rescue Cat. All the Melffys during the end phase can special summon themselves. So Rescue Cat is one of them normal summons. Then the rest of the beasts you play 2 Calantosa. This guy you'll be summoning off your Puppy. Puppy again summons one from the deck. When this guy special summons from the deck, pop a card. Then we play Valeraphon. It's just a level 2 tuner. You can summon off Obedience School to Rescue Cat. Also, if you're grinding and you don't see any other cards, you can discard a card, special summon back one of your dudes, and then make Herald or the any of the XYZs. And then something for Melffy Catty to search is Hop Your Squadron, and there's something really cool we can do with him. Again, you could just summon a Herald off him, but there's something really cool you can do with Hop Your Squadron. Now, as you probably guessed by the title of this video and me talking at the start, it's not a cheap deck, so you know we're playing Dogmatikas. Ecclesia, you need to play a tree. See, like, you can normal summon your Rescue Cat, or if you don't have an extra deck monster, your opponent doesn't have an extra deck monster, you can just normal summon Ecclesia and either search one of 2 targets. So we play 3 Ecclesia. Ecclesia and Rescue Cat would be your normal summons. You play 1 Fleur, searchable of Ecclesia, that's one of your search targets, or your Titan-clad search, or your Nadir search. It's quite good. There's also some more synergy with the deck as well that lets you summon this from the deck. Actually, it's quite cool. To finish off the main deck, Dogmatika engine, we play 3 Nadir Servants. Yes, it is a really expensive deck, but like, it's so good just being able to trigger one of your extra deck monsters that like being sent to grave to search your Ecclesia or your Fleur. There is like some synergy between the Dogmatika engine and the Melffy engine, but not a whole lot. So like, if you have Nadir Servants yourself and you have the whole Dogmatika engine, you should probably just play the Invoked deck. But if you just want to have some fun at locals, then just try it with other things that don't necessarily need like another engine in the deck to completely synergize with it. So Melffys, just the fact that they can special summon themselves in the end phase, and it never counters all of your Dogmatika cards. Like not being able to summon from the extra deck after you Nadir or Fleur or Ecclesia is fine, because at the end, after you've summoned your Ecclesia, let's say, you'll just be summoning your Melffys after. Now onto the hand traps. After I talked a load of rubbish about the Dogmatika side of the deck. You have to play Triage, especially at things like locals slash regionals. It's get around any rogue deck. You could, if you know how to play against meta decks and you know where to hit them with the Ash, it's good. For you to be able to play going second, you have the Dogmatika cards. The Melffy cards don't do much going second, so you are forced to play quite a few hand traps. So Effect Failure, one of the other best hand traps in the game right now. You have to play Effect Failure. You guys know what it does. I'm not going to explain anymore. We play 2 Ghost Ogre. It's quite good against most rogue decks. It hurts. Even it came up actually during the weekend where a 10E player was attempting to draw 2 cards because I special summoned, so Ghost Ogre negate a Pot of Greed. It's quite good. Then you have 3 Impermanence, just more Veilers, I guess. Rounding off pretty much the monster side of things, we play the Dragoon engine as well. It is quite an expensive deck. You could make it more expensive and get the speed dual ultras like someone did that I know. But there is no need to be doing that. For your Melffy spells, you play Tag and Hide and Seek. Tag's quite cool, it's just a monster reborn. Hide and Seek is like True Draco Disciples. Shuffle back 3 beasts and draw a card. But like the cool thing is it doesn't have to be a Melffy card. You can shuffle back Rescue Cats, your Hoppier Squadrons, your Calentoses, so that your puppy can summon them from the deck again. It's quite cool. You don't need to play more of them because you can search them off the XYZ. Your turn usually starts off with Obedience Schooled. What can I say? It just summons 3 beasts. You could get, and if you have a normal summon, you get to end on the Melffy XYZ and the Herald. Like it's just quite good. Or even Mrs. Radiant as well. Play 1 Call by the Grave because why not? And then lastly we have the trap cards. You play 2 Ice Dragon Prison. You have to play this format. If I had, my space issues, I just went over 40. I think this is a 45 card deck, so I probably should have played the 3rd Ice Dragon Prison. It's just so good going against anything. Most decks now have the same types, so it is quite cool. Banishing their Misk. It's like a DD Crow and removal for the board. Getting rid of cards like Dragoon as well, which is huge. It's a cheap card. You should probably just pick up a playset because it will be used. That's pretty much all I have to say about Ice Dragon Prison. And here's your second search target for Ecclesia. Punishment is quite good. Just bear in mind that the turn you activate this, for the rest of the turn you can't special summon the monsters from the extra deck, but also the next turn as well you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck. So if you use this on your opponent's turn to interrupt them, just make sure you're not summoning a Mrs. Radiant the next turn, because you cannot. That finishes up the main deck. And go straight to the extra deck. We play 2 Melffy the Forest. It's quite a good card, where you get to detach search any Melffy card. Also, when your Melffys bounce back from the field to the hand, she gets to imperm a card and it can't attack that turn. Not Forest, the card it targeted that has its effects negated it can also not attack that turn. So it's quite cool. You don't really play Melffy Mommy in this deck. Sorry for all the Melffy fans out there. We'll try and fit her into the next deck if we want to make a budget one. Mannequin Cat is quite cool. Forcing your opponent to special summon a monster from their grave to basically trigger Mannequin Cat's second effect, where you can special summon a monster from your deck that is the same attribute as the one your opponent special summoned. We'll talk about dinos again. You can Mannequin Cat back their Archosaur. That's a light monster. That means you can summon an Ecclesia or a Floor from your deck. Just there's some cool interactions you can have with most decks with this. That finishes up for the XYZs. We play 1 Almirage. If your Rescue Cat gets impermed or whatever, you can still play a bit. Then you have Mrs. Radiant. It's a cool card. Then you have Anaconda. Again, this deck is expensive. Most of the time you can summon 2 monsters. If you're not going down the route of Dogmatika or XYZs, like just being able to summon a Dragoon is huge. Any decks that can afford to use up 2 of their monsters to make this should just play it. I know if you're a budget player and you don't want to spend the money on it, fair enough, but if you're someone who has the money for it, just pick it up, because I don't see this getting a reprint for a while, and Dragoon obviously won't be getting a reprint for a while. So if you want to play it in a fun deck or you want to play it in a meta deck, it's going to come up, so you might as well just pick it up. Then you play Needle Fiber, that goes along with Selene and Access Code. Again, it is a super expensive deck. You can summon Effect Failure of Needle Fiber. You and your opponent have probably got a shared graveyard of 3 spells or more. Summon back the Veiler, make Access Code. Your targets for Nadir Servant or Dogmatika Punishment, these 2 guys get to search at the end phase, get to pop a card. Then our last fusion is Dragoon, really good card. For anyone who doesn't know what it does, pops 2 cards, deals damage to your opponent for each of those monsters. Basically pops cards up to the amount of normal monsters you use to summon it, which is 2. And pop 2 of your opponent's monsters, and then you deal the damage of those attacks to your opponent. Once per turn during your player's turn, negate a card by discarding a card. Can't be targeted, can't be destroyed by card effects. It's a really good card. Herald of the Arc-like. And then last 2 cards, Desert Locust and Omega. So this is the cool thing we can do. So I'll try and show it to you guys. If you end your turn with an Ecclesia and a puppy and a catty. Right. Your opponent summons a monster. You bounce your puppy back to hand and you summon Kalantosa from deck and you pop it. Cool. Your opponent normal or special summons another monster. Use your caddy effect. You can also trigger both of them at the same time. Your puppy and your caddy, if you want to bounce both back at the same time. You're going to bounce back your caddy and add your Hoppier Squadron. Then, on resolution of searching the Hoppier Squadron, you get your Hoppier to target your Ecclesia, and you summon your Squadron, and immediately after that, Synchro Summon for Desert Locust. Your opponent chooses to discard a card from their hand, and then after that, on resolution, you can trigger your Desert Locust, summon Omega, and rip another card from your opponent's hand. So it is quite cool, the fact that like your Ecclesia could have searched your Dogmatika Punishment, so you would have had that set. Your deck is full of hand traps and traps, so you might have your Ice Dragon Prison or your Ashes and Veilers and stuff. So you can basically hold off on doing the punishment interruption, as in Dogmatika Punishment interruption, until after you do your Desert Locust and Omega, ripping 2 cards from your opponent's hand, then activating Dogmatika Punishment, and interrupting them some more. It's quite cool, and then all of your Melffys will just like, they're back in your hand again, so they're just going to keep recurring themselves. So it's a really grindy deck. It's quite cool in a way, and you can see the tiny synergies that this deck has. But like then again, if you even like, Melffys might be able to mix with other decks, because let's say this is a different level 4 monster from another deck. Your Melffy Caddy and your Melffy Puppy can still do that whole play. It doesn't have to be an Ecclesia. So you guys might find another deck to mix this with that might be a little cheaper. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know, and I could try and make you guys a cheaper version of the deck. So thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you like. Stop. I really hope you liked the video. Let me know if there's anything you change, or if you prefer the budget deck profile. Again, if you're a budget player that managed to sit through the entire video, fair play to you. And I'll make sure to do my best to get you a budget deck profile. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you next time on our channel. Peace out.